All right, guys, welcome back. Like I said, I'm going to post this other video kind of covering our tempos. So, like I said, on these workouts, especially these ones we're sending home now, tempos are going to be a key factor in our goals on this as well. So, in our tempos, you'll typically see I'm going to pair this with an exercise here just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. And I'm actually going to pair it with two different exercises to show our tempos are written a little bit differently here. So, what we've done to simplify things for all of you is, let's say this is supposed to say push-ups. I'm not sure what I wrote there, but we'll fix that. So what we'll typically do here on a push-up right now is what we've done with all of you for tempos to make it simple is based it on movement order. So push-up, we're usually starting at the top position. So our first movement is this first number on the tempo. Our second movement is a pause. Our third movement is a coming up, and our last movement is a pause at the top. So on a push-up, this number here, the 4, would be your lowering in that exercise. So that's on the push-up, obviously, when you're lowering down on there. This 0 here, this second number, is our pause at the bottom position. So this is going to be important. We will write pauses in different positions, especially when we go into that next phase. There's going to be more pauses and everything going on in that phase there. This next one here is going to be your raising up or your upper movement phase. So you're moving up from the push-up. So we've lowered down with our 4 seconds down, pause 0 seconds at the bottom. We're going to take 1 second to come back up. And then this last one here, guess what, is our pause at the top. So how we would do this on a push-up, starting at the top, 4 seconds to lower down. It's going to be a good count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Or a lot of times I'll count down and go 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure it's a good even count there. 0 second pause at the bottom. So you're lowering down, you're coming right back up. A 1 second to come back up, so that's pretty quick. And then 0 pause at the top. So 4 down, 1 up, no pauses anywhere. One note I'll write here is every once in a while on this raising phase here, we will put something that's called an X. So an X means fast. So X is as fast as possible. So hopefully you guys can see that. I didn't realize there's a nice little glare there, but X means fast. Just remember that. Hopefully you're listening to this a little bit. So we'll go over this row tempo now. The difference we've done on this is everything is movement based. So typically on a row, your first movement is going to be the upper movement. So typically a row is going to start with a 1 right now. So our 1 will be our upward movement. Then we'll have possibly a lot of times on a row, I'm going to make you pause. Ha, all over the place on this one. Hopefully you guys get this though. Pause. 1 second at the top. Then you're going to take, this is where we go into this lowering then. 4 seconds to come down, and then no pause at the bottom. So this is the lowering of the weight then. Lower, and this would be the pause at the bottom. A row creates a different tempo because you're starting in a completely different position. So 1 second to come up, 1 second pause at the top, 4 seconds to lower that weight back down, 0 second pause at the bottom. So you can see these tempos are going to dictate the load that we're putting on you and how much we're stressing you. The big thing on here is we won't go too deep into it, but we're looking at stressing more in the eccentric fashion, which are these slower tempos. And eccentric is basically that lowering of the weight all the time or lowering of a load. While your concentric is where we're going to do some of these faster repetitions, which is going to teach you how to explode out of that movement pattern. So these are going to be important moving forward because we're going to change these up in each phase to dictate what kind of load we're trying to apply to you and dictate our goals for that set. Like if we're putting a lot of X reps on it, we're trying to make you more powerful. If we're slowing you down a ton, we're trying to make that movement harder. So that's going to be important, definitely, since we're only using a lot of body weight or whatever weights we have at home. So hopefully this makes sense. On all this stuff, you can always email me and I will answer quickly as far as what I mean on some of these movements here. So hopefully you take this all in, take this serious. These tempos are going to be important along with all the other variables I talked about in that first video. So keep moving. Take care.